Welcome back. With the help of tech, marketing is now more than simply getting the word out. It's becoming a science, and part of that movement is Mogean, a startup working out of the Atlanta Tech Village with the help of ATDC and the Bridge Atlanta. Here to tell us about it is the Mogean team, co-founders Reed Malsby and Nate Halsey, along with CEO Matt Riley. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks.
This is great. It's a full house. So let's get into it. First, what is Mogean?
So Mogean is a name that we came up with. It stands for Mobile Geospatial Temporal Analytics. And so what it is it describes basically what we do. We understand more about businesses and brands, customers than they do. Tracking and understanding what people do in their day-to-day life allows us to build some pretty deep insights about users and what they do in the real world.
That is so cool. I want to hear the backstory. You know, how did Mogean come about? Where'd you get the name? And just dig right in.
So how Mogean came about is Nate and I were both we worked for Coca-Cola, and there on nights and weekends we decided that we needed to move into mobile technology. We started working with bars and restaurants and the service industry, understanding what their concerns are, what their problems are. And so looking at the technology and how they can understand more about their consumers without them having to fill out surveys or to do anything different in their day-to-day life. So doing that, we came up with the technology that merged into Mogean.
So what were those pain points initially?
So, initially what we ran into was you can't ask people to do anything outside of their normal behavior patterns. So we realized right away that our initial approaches just weren't going to work. But what we learned through that was there's some pretty cool cutting edge technologies that we were able to develop through that process. And we created something that is a passive technology so that consumers can get the benefits of technology without having to work technology.
That's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to work for
That's
a
right.
company
That's right.
I'm not working for, so it makes sense. No, but in all seriousness, it's brilliant what you're doing. And let's talk about location services like yours. How are they becoming more important to both consumers and businesses?
So the way location services has really been used from now up till now is for couponing and for spamming people. The way that we see technology working is using location services to understand more about people when they're not interacting with technology. And so then we can pass that information back to businesses and brands, and so they can provide more value to customers. And some of that is sometimes knowing when not to contact the customer.
I know that's right. Let's talk about a specific use case. Walk me through what that might look like.
So one of the main areas we look at talk to different businesses is share of wallet. And so we can understand then when people are having visits, when they're going to a certain business, as well as when they drive past your business and where do they go. And so if you understand some of that, you understand more about your customer and you can serve them better.
That's crazy. It is the craziest world that we live in right now, but also brilliant. Matt, I want to get to you, and let's go into the role of brands and creating relationships with consumers.
Well, one of the core ideas of Mogean and one of the brilliant things that these guys came up with was the idea that if you really want to understand consumers, don't ask them what they think, watch what they do. And I think that's pretty true in normal life. People will tell you we've got an election coming up here. Many people are ashamed to admit who they're going to vote for on either side of the aisle. It'll be more effective to watch actually what they do. So it'll be interesting in politics as it is in business to watch people what they do, and they actually learn more. We're actually watching the hurricane right now. We're watching how people evacuate in real time from the affected areas, and we'll be doing a press release here shortly where we'll take a look at counties that have the most people in danger and the least people in danger all along the hurricane route in an attempt to actually help, use the technology to add some good. If you look at the last two hurricanes, most people died from evacuation, not from direct impact of the storm.
Wow.
So that's one application that we're trying to use the technology for.
And let's talk about some of that data you can glean from the evacuation route. What sort of insights can we get from that, and how can we help both the population and the businesses along the routes that they're evacuating?
So our hope is that we'll be able to understand when's the right time to evacuate, when we can help municipalities actually show people it's too late, stay home.
Right.
Or you don't actually need to evacuate, stay there and let the people who need to leave get on the highway.
Yeah, and the whole gridlock thing, I mean, anyway, it's our thoughts are with everybody affected by the hurricane right now. How has your partnership with the Bridge and ATDC and ATV, how has that helped you as a startup that's no fledgling startup? You guys are doing big things. How has that helped?
Yeah, my perspective, and I'll be interested in Nate and Reed's, is coming from industry. I spent the bulk of my career, over 25 years, in big business. And so Now, working in this kind of an environment, I realize that a lot of these venues are ways to very quickly meet with people who can't buy what you sell, right? And so the typical startup incubator is a way to facilitate meetings where nobody buys anything. It's just a lot of very interesting conversations. So I think one piece of advice we have from our experience, or at least I do, is be very discriminating with where you spend your time. Make sure that in all this meeting and flurry of activity, you're actually spending time with people who can buy what you sell.
Yeah.
What do you think, Nate?
I think that's a valid point, and I think we have gotten some value out of it. We had the chance to work directly with some enterprise-level strategic marketers, and what we've learned is that marketers are still guessing at what their consumers want. So marketers, they survey, and then they resurvey, and then they survey again just to grab a little glimpse into what consumers want and what they might buy. So they're left with educated guesses. An example would be yesterday I was in a mobile app, and I saw that I was receiving digital banner ads for a rental car, but why? I was in an area where I live near, and I was in an area where I work near. I did not need a rental car. So I just want, I guess, what everybody else wants. I don't want the pinnacle of technology to be spamming me with precision.
Yeah.
I want marketers to know me enough to understand the context of what I'm actually doing and what I actually want.
And Reed, and you all can contribute to this question, but I want to hear, at what point did you realize, hey, this is not only a great idea, but this is a scalable business model, and we're on the path to success?
Go ahead.
I think it's when we realize there's this really exciting news out there that the Internet of Experiences is here. It's here for consumers. I mean, we should all be thrilled. It should equate to less spam and more things that we want. Technology is such now that marketers can actually get the contextual understanding of people without having to survey them all the time. Well, this is good news because the new generation of digital consumers grew up understanding that the value of sharing everything. And they understand that if they share information, they do expect personalization in return. So now we're just really excited to be a part of the way bringing that technology to businesses so that marketers can be more relevant in the way that they talk to their customers.
That's really awesome. We've got a wrap. Want to get to quickly, what's next for Q4 of this year and then 2017 and beyond?
So we'll have 1 million devices on the platform here in the next 60 days.
Wow.
Q1 of next year, we're looking to have 25 million devices on the platform, and that opens up a whole bunch of other possibilities for us and for our clients.
Awesome. Well, we love hearing about companies doing big things right here in our city. Thank you all so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Atlanta Tech Edge is brought to you by 3CI. Better people, perfect fit.